Hi, I'm Sari Hewlett from Core Fusion Pilates and Physiotherapy, and we're talking today about how Pilates can help get you more flexible. Lots and lots of it these days, and getting nowhere near as much mobility and exercise and stretch as we should do. You know, we go from getting up in the morning to working in an office or going into, a computer-based thing, or we might find that, we're sat in the car, we're doing a lot more travel because everything these days is geared a lot more towards technology. We're spending a lot more time constrained and working in a sort of smaller environment unless we have sort of a manual based job or a physical based job where we are out and about and using our body. Most of us tend to be a lot less active than we used to, and if you think about what day-to-day activities are like, and even just things like being able to wash floors, do dishes, washing machines, everything like that takes a lot of the effort. We're not using our bodies as much as we used to because we have lots and lots of machines that do it for us. Cars have got power steering, we've got electric windows, we just push buttons, we don't need to get up and change the TVs by buttons anymore. Everything's very remote based. We don't even need to get up and change lights because we can clap, or we can use Google or Alexa or whoever else you choose to use at home. So if you think about our day-to-day activity, we're not doing as much as we did 10 years ago. We're definitely not doing anywhere near as much as we did 50 years ago. So the ability to move and the ability to stretch and everything else is a lot more restricted. And even like the kids these days, we are less and less seeing children who are out and about running and moving and crawling around all over the place. They seem to be glued a lot more to electrical devices from a lot younger an age. So flexibility is an issue. I mean, I've definitely seen a massive decline in how people move. I've been a physio for over 25 years, so I can safely tell you that people coming in today, even the kids coming in today, have got a far different outlook on their posture and their flexibility and their movement than they did when I first started as a physio way back in the 90s. So let's talk about flexibility in Pilates and how Pilates helps you. And the big thing that we're looking at when people come in to do Pilates, whether it's in a class setting or whether it's for clinical rehab or for physio, is that flexibility is all about getting you to work at length. So if you are constantly sat or constantly in sort of a short space where you're working, you're there, or you're working in computers, everything becomes a lot shorter, everything becomes a lot less mobile. So just being able to stop and touch your toes, or just being able to reach forwards and bend and get things, just being able to stretch your hamstring is a lot more of an effort these days because it's something that we're not as used to doing, unless, like I say, you've made a concerted effort to go and do sport, go and do some stretches, or go and do something that changes you. So when you're coming into a Pilates class, whether it be class or physio or rehab, what's going on is that we're trying to work your body at length. We're trying to restore as much normal movement as possible. So if you spend all day sat in the chair, you'll find that your hip flexors are tight. So you'll find that you get tight through the hip flexors. You'll find that you're going to get tight through the back of your hamstrings. You'll find that you're going to get tight through your chest and your pecs, and you're going to get tight through your neck, tight through the traps and the levator scaps in your spine and your lats. So when you then start stretching and trying to move, things don't move as easily. And what happens when you're doing a Pilates class or you're doing some stretches is that we're working you on length. So it might be something as simple as you're working and doing some book openings and just getting some mobility back through there. It might be that you're doing some work where you're doing some hamstring stretches and getting mobility back there. It might be that we're working you and you're going into a roll back. So what's happening is you're getting some stretch through the spine. The thing is, what's happening is the way the exercises are structured is that we work you on a stretch. So we're trying to get you to reach long, we're trying to get you to point long, we're trying to get you to reach and get some mobility and movement back through. So what happens is that you're working on your flexibility as you also strengthen. So as you're moving and as you're twisting and as you're turning, we're also getting some flexibility through those structures that are a little bit tighter. So flexibility is one thing that Pilates, people know that they're going to get more flexible through, because it makes you work on length. So we're not trying to get like the gym style programs where we're getting shortening through the muscles all the time. So if you're doing biceps curls, we're doing it that way. What we're trying to get you to do is do your movements where you actually work on length. So what happens is you're still getting stronger, but we're working you eccentrically, which means that the muscles stretch and lengthen as they work. So does Pilates work to get you more flexible? Yes, it does. We're trying to restore normal movement. We're trying to restore how your body works in a good way that's balanced. We're trying to work so you basically aim at getting as much symmetry as you can, and also in a way that both sides are worked evenly. So it will address muscle imbalance as well as your flexibility, as well as mobilizing your joints, as well as making you come out feeling great because your body's moving, joints are being oiled, muscles and tendons and everything else are being stretched in a way that feel good, as well as strengthening them. So you go away being able to move a bit more freely, you go away being able to move with a bit more ease, and you go away being able to move and feeling like you're a little bit more alive when you came in. So flexibility, if you need more flexibility, come along and see us and we'll definitely be able to help you out.